The happiness of the human being must, in any society, be an end in itself.
In 2008, the FBI crossed out the name Nelson Mandela on its terrorist watch list. But why?
Thousands gather outside a police station in protest against new laws requiring every African to carry a pass at all times.
I guess it began here. So, 13 years of non-violence literally backfired. After that, the only crime became losing. Still, I'm not here to recalculate the immorality of apartheid. I'm here for this question. So, when does the end justify the means? Mandela may be an easier example, but I want to show you the ones that can tip the balance between order and chaos. So, may I suggest that you and I try and answer this question together? Now then, to make this a bit easier, I'm going to tell you a story, a dramatic story, like in a book or a play or a film. It's only so the uninitiated don't get turned off by hearing words like utilitarianism or deontology. This story is inspired by true events. It's about the lives of two civilians and two nations, both being shaped by war and peace. Alright, let us begin. You know, we often forget the humble beginnings of the United States as a collection of British colonies. This was the original Brexit means Brexit, minus the Tory support, but with the same amount of people being told to go back home.
Oi! Why don't you go back to England?
But let me refocus. Enter our protagonist, Thomas Burnfoot Brown. Now, Thomas was your standard English-born, wealthy American colonist. He sought a peaceful life as a landowner in the New World, which was anything but peaceful then. Like most rich men, he was a Tory, and he made no secret of this in his neighborhood. Now, it was practically a cardinal sin to be a Tory in these lands. Now, if Twitter existed back then, this would be a much easier job for the American patriots. But they decided to go the extra mile. I swear these are the same people fighting for liberty. I'm confused. Long story short, the peaceful landowner was gone, radicalized into a swift and terrible sword for His Majesty. Out of the flames emerged Lieutenant Colonel Burnfoot, now a brutal avenger of the crown. Spent the next 8 years fighting to crush American independence, even hanging 13 prisoners from a staircase banister. So, while a nation was born, so too was the American capacity for creating enemies, at home and abroad. Let's make this more interesting. When Martin Luther King said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere," was it not worth asking, how far should we go in pursuit of justice? When do the means to achieve that become justified? As we saw with Thomas Brown, the US has ways of dealing with what it considers to be threats to justice. So when someone went after its heart, America went straight for the head, vigilante style. The thing is, Hydra heads can always be replaced. It makes the trillions and millions sacrificed wasted for a greater good. Then the bacteria spreads, and in this case, it infected a teenage girl from East London.
Shamima Begum ruling has not settled her case for good, or many of the broader questions surrounding it.
Let's keep this simple, shall we? No perfect solution. A stalemate, which, like Shamima, is going nowhere. English law decrees no fair trial until the public safety is guaranteed. But what about the international laws demanding a fair trial as a human right? You see the problem now? Being made stateless was never part of the plan. We don't really know what happened when she went over there. Except the government, maybe. We can speculate about that, but that's not really useful. Whether Shamima leaves or stays, a law is being broken somewhere. As Shamima's judge said, there is no perfect solution to a dilemma of the present kind. Decisive British justice came at a price. So, when does the end justify the means?